Hello, everybody, and welcome to Book It Vince, the wrestling dream match podcast on the internet. I'm one of your hosts, Martin Bennett, and with me is Antony Hall, and he's better than you, and you know it.
Oh, yeah. I'm better than you. But not really.
Some know it, not all, but some. I guess then I'm the Wardlow to your MJF.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm okay with that. Did you watch this side tangent before we get to the episode?
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch the episode of Being the Elite where John Silver and Alex Reynolds are just complimenting Wardlow, like to try to get him to join the Dark Order, and they're just they're just like, damn, he's so sexy. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, look at those muscles. And they're just getting like, it's kind of getting really uncomfortable. Like they're getting way too in like detail.
They're awesome.
They're so funny. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. All right.
The Dark Order is the best part of Being the Elite.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Right now it's like just there's such a good, every single one of them has such good like moments, and I just want to see more of that stupidness on Dynamite because I think it'd be hilarious.
Yeah, but I wish it would transfer over.
It's nice that they throw in little things like the whole tractor thing.
Oh yeah, the lawnmowers.
The lawnmowers, yeah, where they just throw that in just for, if you're in the know, then you know. But yes, this is Book It Vince. Welcome everybody. If you enjoy what we do here, where every week we conjure up some dream match from pro wrestling that we would like to see, and we challenge each other to book what that rivalry, what the feud would be like. If you enjoy what we do here, please follow or subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast from, and also check it out on YouTube, because then you can watch our beautiful faces and also check out all the other content that we make on the internet. But this week we have Antony going to be challenging me. So Antony, what matchup do you have for us today?
Okay, I wanted to do this one because usually I do like a silly dream match, but this week I would like to challenge you to book a feud between one of your favorite wrestlers.
Oh.
Actually, I think there are two of your favorite wrestlers. One's being one of your favorite guys right now, and one being your all-time favorite guy.
Oh,
so
no.
I would like to see, and of course I will assist you. We are going to book Kenny Omega, the Cleaner, versus
the Cleaner version
versus the Rated R Superstar.
Oh my
Edge.
God. But how? Oh my gosh.
And the caveat is that it is not in the WWE. It is in AEW.
Oh man. Okay. Huh. Okay. Interesting. So it's as if Edge just left and then was like, you know what? I want to come back, but I'm going to come back with these guys.
Yeah, it's like if Edge, instead of coming back to the WWE, like was the Joker in the Casino Battle Royal, and like that's
that would have been
possibly. I don't know. We can figure it out.
Okay, I think that's a great starting point, though.
Okay,
I mean, it's a great way to introduce someone where it's like, you know, the whole point of the Casino Battle Royale and having the 21 entrants is that one of them is always going to be a surprise. And if that was Edge, whoa.
Yeah.
That'd be an even crazier pop than him returning to the Royal Rumble. I think then okay. So I think that would be awesome, where it's just, you know, because with the Battle Royale, they obviously, you know, who's going to be in it, but maybe this time they make this bigger, sort of grander, like tease as to, well, who's going to be the Joker? You know, it could be anyone. You never know who it could be. Could be someone that you've seen before, could be someone that you've never seen before. Someone old, someone new. And then I just think that friggin' Edge shows up, everybody loses their minds, and he just goes wild, spears everyone.
Yeah.
And I like that in, last year's, or no, it was this year's. Jesus Christ. It feels so weird to think that this year's Royal Rumble had people at it. That, he gets pretty close, but maybe, the easy booking would be that then Kenny eliminates him.
Yeah.
But I don't think I want to do that.
Yeah.
Because
and I'm wondering where this Casino Battle Royal happens. Is it always at All Out?
No, I think they now have just decided to start picking and choosing where they do it.
Right.
I think it all depends, because they originally did it last year at Double or Nothing, because it was the whole casino, like, sort of.
That works, actually. That if we're booking it in a true linear fashion of the schedule, the pay-per-views that we have in AEW this year, we could do the Casino Battle Royal at Double or Nothing, and then culminate the feud at All Out, because there's only 2 pay-per-views in between those. Fighter Fest and Fight for the Fallen.
Oh, yeah, okay. I think, honestly, like, I think I like the idea. I think they just were, like, playing with ideas this past year where, they're like, okay, well, what can we do at Double or Nothing this year? Should we do another Battle Royale? And that's where they then did the ladder match. The, what was it called? I forget what it was called. It was where they had to grab the giant casino chip.
Oh yeah.
And that was Brian Cage. But I think, like, the 21-man Battle Royale is really good. And maybe I think what would be good, like, because if Edge comes back, he's got to come back as a babyface. And I think a good person to eliminate him from the Battle Royale, I think Lance Archer, honestly.
Okay.
I think Lance Archer eliminating him would be good. Because then what you can do is next week or the Dynamite after, you can have him come out, huge reception, and I think what would like fit Edge really well is just, I'm happy to be here. I was happy to come back. I love what the guys are doing here. I'm excited to see the future of AEW. Maybe he's not all elite, but he's just excited to see other stuff grow. And he gets that babyface reaction of like, oh, this is great or whatever. And then later, Lance, like, he doesn't mention being eliminated at all. He's like, it was great to be there. I'm excited to see what else I can do here in the meantime. But otherwise, thank you. And then later in the evening, maybe Lance is doing something. Maybe Lance won, and he's vibing for the title. And then in the middle of that, or maybe it's after a match, and he squashes someone. Immediately after that, Edge comes out and just spears him. And then it's like, oh no, like he was like kind of like, he's just like, oh, I'm a legend. Hey, thanks for having me. And then it's like, you don't expect it. Boom, Radar Superstar comes out and just starts beating the ever loving crap out of Lance Archer.
Yeah, or it's like, how Lance Archer's always in like those squash matches where he pretty much just like picks somebody up and like throws them through the ring.
Yeah.
He should be doing like, so let's say he like won the Casino Battle Royal and he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go for the title, whomever has it in our universe. And Jake the Snake Roberts is like cutting a promo where he's like, yeah, you go, the thing that he does. Yeah, and this is after Lance Archer is like done his squash match, and he's like kind of just like Jake is just propping up Lance. He's like, "Ew, everybody, well, you couldn't even handle my guy, Lance Murder Hawk. Yeah, Edge came back, but he didn't stand a chance against my guy." So he's just like talking him up, and that's when Edge comes in and spears.
It's got to be out of nowhere too. It can't be like he comes down to the ring. Oh, Edge is here. It just has to be out of nowhere where it's like, oh my God, Edge! I speared Lance Archer. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's like
and he just like turns not full like I think I would love just to see him go full Radar Superstar where he pulls the hair back and he's fuming. He goes out, gets some chairs, and he friggin' gives Lance Archer a concerto.
Yeah.
Because then everybody's like, oh my God, yes. And then maybe then that leads to like a match at what's first? Is it Fyter Fest? Let's just say it's Fyter Fest. I'm pretty sure it's Fyter Fest. And that leads to a match at Fyter Fest. Cool.
Like a street fight?
Yeah, or something. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Where then it's I don't think either of them losing really matters. I don't think it hurts either of them, honestly. Like having either of them lose like something like a street fight doesn't really matter. I think then to lead up to Kenny, because that's the end goal, is through all this, you got to have, like say like one of those where either Tony Schiavone or Jim Ross interviews Edge. Maybe it's Jim Ross because that's like a whole history,
Yeah.
And JR's like, if there'd be other people that you'd want to face here, who would you want to face? And I think in there he names, the kind of I think he would do what he's done in the past when he talks about like new superstars, is he says the people that like really do deserve more. And he said like Scorpio Sky. Talks about Cody, Hangman Adam Page. That'd be a crazy match.
Yeah.
And I honestly really, really, really loved when FTR came back and they were asked like, what tag teams do you want to face? And they didn't mention the Bucks.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Maybe he doesn't mention Kenny Omega.
And maybe it's Jim Ross where it's like, would you want to face Kenny Omega? And he's kind of like, I think he kind of like downplays it where he like doesn't really think like, and maybe JR is like, oh, well, Kenny was voted the best wrestler in the world in 2000. I forget what year it was, 2015 or something like that. And that's where Edge can be like, yeah, being voted the best wrestler. I mean, was he really though? That's just my opinion and something like that. And that's where then that could lead up to follow up to a thing of like, hey, Kenny, how do you feel about what Edge said about you in his interview with JR? And he's like, I respect Edge a lot, but
like, is Kenny not the cleaner yet? Like, is it?
I think this is gonna bring out the cleaner.
Yeah, so like Edge is like, yeah, so he's voted, but he hasn't really shown anything since the beginning of AEW to display that he's a legitimate threat, and I'm not going to waste my time on somebody who doesn't know who he is. And it's like, right? And then
it's gonna be like he was in a tag team for a while. I mean,
yeah,
that match against Moxley was great, but I haven't been impressed. I've heard so many things about Kenny Omega.
Yeah,
I just haven't been impressed the way that other guys on the roster have impressed me.
Yeah, and then Jim Ross is just like, so Edge, so you're saying you don't want to face Kenny Omega, and then and Edge is just like, we'll see.
That'd be good. So what do you think would then be like the inciting incident that would then really bring them together? So like, okay, this whole feud with Lance ends. It's like, what does Edge do next, and what's Kenny up to during this time? Is this like where Kenny is starting to like do bad things, you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is like I think the current storyline that's going on in AEW is like, let's just take that and kind of plop it into what we have right now. So let's say that Kenny and Hangman have just like lost the tag titles, and he's like kind of a lost soul right now, like trying to find himself. And
he wants to go back into singles competition.
Yeah.
And but then he's doing things like, having a match with someone, and then after beating them clean, like starting to beat the tar out of them. Maybe that's what it is like he attacks someone, and what if it was like, what if Kenny had a match with like Scorpio Sky, and
just decimated him?
But he beat, and then it's a really good match. But then at the end, he beats him, and then he starts beating the crap out of him, and you can just hear on the audio where he's like, Edge thinks you're better than me. Edge thinks that you're more deserving. It's stuff like that. Maybe, I don't know. Like, but I think just like either leaving little hints of stuff like that, or like he's beating the crap out of Scorpio, and then Edge comes out to save him. Like, that's really classic kind of wrestling, like booking is like.
But Edge is like kind of crazy right now too, right? So maybe he wouldn't come save Scorpio Sky. Maybe he would just leave it, and like he's maybe watching Kenny get all crazy. I think something that would be cool.
Would this make Edge more heelish? So okay, to take that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where he. So say like Kenny beats the crap out of Scorpio, and then it cuts to the back, and Edge is watching,
mm-hmm.
and then maybe like Alex Marvez comes up and is like, Edge, aren't you gonna go out there and help Scorpio? Aren't you gonna go out there and help Scorpio being attacked by Kenny? He was saying something about him being more deserving than he obviously has some problems with you. And Edge is kind of like, I don't know what Edge could say in this moment, but he could just be like looking on, and then maybe the next week Scorpio confronts Edge and is like, I saw the highlight. You were just sitting there watching, and you didn't come do anything. What the hell, man?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Kenny went crazy on me. And I don't know if that makes Edge more heelish.
I think they're both. I mean, they're both kind of heelish at this point.
It's that riding that line of like doing the good thing versus the bad thing versus like your own thing. It's kind of like that. It's like that gray area of you're doing what's right, but only for yourself.
Yeah.
Versus what a true heel does, which is just does the wrong thing all the time for completely selfish reasons.
Maybe Edge just like doesn't even respond to Scorpio Sky calling him out. He just lets Scorpio kind of like talk at him, and then he just like leaves. And I think maybe on that same Dynamite or something, he challenges whomever it is the champion of like the TNT champion. So he gets a TNT shot. So let's say it's just because it's a better story. Let's say it's Cody, because Cody was on Edge's list of people that he wanted to wrestle.
Yeah.
So he gets a TNT title shot against Cody, and it's like a pretty awesome match. But then
I like that all these matches were like, it's a really good match. We're not even describing the matches. I don't know I don't know what it is just about AEW matches, but like they're just good. like it's just the fact that a lot of the time with AEW, in my opinion, like I literally today I watched, by the time this comes out, you can go back and watch it. It's not my match recommendation of the week, although it could be, is Brandon Cutler versus Peter Avalon.
Oh, it's so awesome.
On Dark. Such a good match. These two guys who have done nothing but lose in this company. And they have a match that I'm not going to spoil the ending, but the whole time, like, you're watching, they're like, these guys are pulling off moves like they could be legends.
They're super underrated, both of those guys.
Yeah, so it's a thing of the AEW matches are just well paced most of the time. There are some rough ones.
Yeah.
But just in terms of like moves and deliverability of like looking like hard hitting matches, usually always really good. So I can only imagine that Cody versus Edge would be methodical.
Yeah.
It would bring back Edge to his like how he did wrestle, where he does, try to do submissions. And he is, pinpointing certain areas of the body, but then he can come out of nowhere with a spear or.
Yeah. I think it's pretty stiff. Like they're just they're really just beating the shit out of each other. So then I think the finishing spot is like, Edge is like in the corner and he like, he flips his hair up and he's like, ah!
Yeah, he's winding up for it.
He's winding up for the spear, and then the cleaner Kenny Omega comes in and V triggers him in the face.
I mean, yeah, that'd be an excellent way of just like, disqualification. It's setting up a feud that's way more unique and interesting than Edge getting a title or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, I think Edge kind of not blow, like going back a little bit, I don't think Edge necessarily would blow off Scorpio Sky, but I think it is that kind of thing of like, he's, I think you could do the like legend giving respect in a sense where he's like, maybe it's not that he just ignores them, but he's like, I respect you, man, but I got bigger plans.
Yeah.
I got bigger plans than you, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, it's not the brush off, it's not the whatever, because then that obviously would lead to a match there. But I think it is this kind of thing of like, it's just giving little hints of that he saw what Kenny did. He sees that it's kind of a call out. It's like a show of dominance, and then it could lead to this thing of like Cody calls out Edge and he's like, maybe he has a defense the week before during all this, right? And then what leads to it, just to give it a bit more story, is like after the match, Cody gets on the mic and he's like, a lot of things have been going on around here lately, and one of the most impressive things that I think we all can agree on is the return of Edge.
Yeah, a living, breathing legend.
And Edge last week mentioned me in his list of people he'd like to face. Well, I have a list of people I'd like to face too, and Edge.
It's like, you're at the top of my list.
Edge, you're right now. You've cut the line, and you're at the top of my list.
Yeah,
I'll give you. I bet you I'll defend my title against you next week, and that can lead to that.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Then having a grueling match that's like a good like 10-12 minute match that then just ends with Kenny Omega out of nowhere V-triggering him.
Yeah. So I think, it's like Cody is like incapacitated and he like is getting up, and Edge just is loading up and he like runs to do the spear, and then you see like, so it's basically like, I wish everybody could see my hands as I show this. It's like,
but yeah, you're
Edge is coming towards here, and then Kenny Omega, he's out of the frame and he bounces off the apron and just like V triggers him like right in the face as he like is moving towards Cody.
That'd be crazy.
So he takes him out, and then he just like hits him with a one-winged angel, boom, and just just stands on top of, or just like, I don't know if he stays there. Maybe he hits him. He like kind of looks at him and then just rolls out of the ring and then walks away. Or
he stands over him and is just looking down, and the commentary team's just like, what did Kenny just do?
Yeah.
What? We've never seen Kenny this like serious or this deranged before. And then maybe Kenny does the goodnight like bang, like pointed at Edge.
Oh yeah.
And then rolls out of the ring and just kind of walks away with this like deranged look.
Puts his sunglasses on.
That would be the easiest way to like really be like, the cleaner's back, where it's he like is standing over him and then he reaches in his pocket and he just pulls out the sunglasses, puts them on, and then does the good night bang,
bang,
and then walks away. And does this lead to a match at Fight for the Fallen? What do you think?
Well, that's my question is like, how do we stretch it out maybe? Or do we have like a rematch or we have a rematch between Cody and Edge here because it's like the finish wasn't legit. So we want another like shot. And
that could be a Fight for the Fallen.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, I think we definitely need to have like, I think then, maybe then Edge calls out Kenny, or cuts like a video promo against him. But I think if it's like an in-ring promo, then I think Scorpio Sky interrupts. And just says, you blew me off last week. I'm not going to let that happen again. If you're here looking for a fight, I'm going to give you a fight.
Oh.
And then they have an impromptu match. And maybe it's not a super long match, but it's a really hard-hitting one.
Yeah.
And I think it just helps then let Edge like it kind of reheats the hard hitting style and like brutality of Edge and like his character.
So not to the
point where he goes on, like, not to the point where he like goes over the top to then like brutalize Scorpio Sky, because he's technically the face more or less in this rivalry, but I think to the point of like sending a message to Kenny. And maybe it's the type of thing like when Jericho like grabs the camera or whatever, and maybe he like grabs the camera and he looks and he's like, look what you're doing, Kenny, look what you're doing, and then he like spears Scorpio Sky like twice or three times.
Yeah. So where is that?
This is you, Kenny. I think that's immediately after the Kenny attacking him. I think that's the week following. Like, cuts a promo calling out Kenny.
So are we doing the TNT title shot at Fight for the Fallen?
Yeah, I think that'd be good. I think that'd be a good one.
And it'd be a big moment too. Like, let's say like, yeah, the Kenny Omega returning as the cleaner is like a pretty big moment for a pay-per-view. So then I guess the following Dynamite is when Scorpio Sky is like, you blew me off once, Edge. Like, I want you to give me the respect that I deserve, the respect that you think I deserve. And like, let's settle this in the ring right now. Yeah. So then, then we have that match that you just talked about with Scorpio Sky getting in like a decent amount of offense, but then Edge is just like mad about Kenny Omega attacking him during the TNT title shot that he takes it out on Scorpio Sky. And then, the camera thing is like, look what you're doing.
I think then what incites a rematch for the title is, I don't think it's Edge, because I don't think Edge really cares. I think it's Cody pulling a real babyface move of like, maybe in an interview he's asked like, well, you didn't really get to finish your match against Edge. It was interrupted by Kenny. And then that's where Cody can be like, I really don't know what's going on with Kenny right now, but you know, I'm a man of my word, and I really want to. I think what me and Edge went through last week was a hard hitting, crazy match, and I want to give him the chance to really show, like, you know, that he still has it. And so I'm gonna put my title again on the line against him again at Fight for the Fallen. And like, that's a real like babyface move. Like, you know, people want to see this match, let's give it to him again, but with a real finish.
Wait, but the first one was already at Fight for the Fallen, no?
Oh, sorry. I mean, no. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. So like, instead of the first title shot being at Fight for the Fallen, it's at or instead of it being on Dynamite, it's on Fight for the Fallen, and that's when Kenny attacks.
I like that better. I like that better. I like that, like the title is at a pay-per-view, because that makes it a bit better. And then then scrap the whole what I just said. That's just the finish, and then Cody moves on to someone else,
Right, and he can maybe come back like later, like let's say Edge stays for a little while after this, and that can be a storyline that makes like an Edge and Cody feud, or at least so we can have the rematch of the TNT title. But we have to set up for All Out, which will be like the match between Kenny and Edge. So we have some dynamites to build towards.
Yeah, I think what would be good is some really good edited promo packages from both of these guys. Mm-hmm. Where you can include like, it'd be hard you could include a lot of Kenny footage. It'd be hard to include Edge footage.
Yeah.
To show like what he has done in the past. But you could bring in legends to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like imagine like during this promo package, it's you bring in someone like Mick Foley, who talks about like Edge is one of the hardest guys I've ever gone in the ring with.
And they have JR, so JR can just be like, Edge is a one of a kind superstar, blah blah blah. Like,
I love your impressions of these guys.
Look at my cowboy hat.
But yeah, I think, and this is a point where you can have both of them really use their promo skills to sell and put over like just how hard each of them are, and how brutal that they can get. Mm-hmm. And this is the perfect moment to really show the AEW audience who the Cleaner really is, and have Kenny just cut a killer promo about like, I've destroyed people.
Yeah.
I am at my breaking point. Edge brought me to my breaking point, and I'm not turning back. I'm here now to clean up this company. And the first thing I need to do is get rid of this ex-company family man trash or whatever.
Well, this outsider. He's like, because he's technically, he doesn't belong in AEW. And and of course, Jim Ross has got to be like, this is a man, he broke his neck, and we never thought we'd see Edge in a WWE ring ever again.
And you can have Edge be the babyface,
or AEW ring. Yeah.
I busted my neck. I never thought I could wrestle again. I got the best doctors in the world to look at me, and when I wanted to return, AEW had the offer, and I accepted it.
Yeah.
And I came in here thinking, I'd get to have, he'd be like, I came in here thinking I was going to get to have like a number of really crazy matches with guys that I've been watching from afar for the past couple of years. And then Kenny came into my life.
Yeah. He was like, maybe he was saying like, he's like, I thought that the agreement was that I would come here and I would get to have all the dream matches I want and
showcase deserving talent.
Yeah, showcase deserving talent and restart my career the way that I wanted to on my terms. But then Kenny.
And this is where then he can address Kenny. Like one of my favorite promos now ever of Edge is the Edge promo of when it was him. I think it's after he got injured. And he's just sitting in a ring and he just gives like a 5-minute promo directly to Orton. And he says some like wild shit where he talks about how like Cowboy Bob Orton should have been shooting blanks. And it's like, ooh, no, man.
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
But something like that where he's like, Kenny, and he's talking to him directly. He's like, I hope, like, you may have been on the indies for a long time. Your entire career, you made, a statement of being that guy that everyone talked about outside of the one major company. You were the draw to Japan. You were the draw to the independent scene. But I hope you spent that time so it sounds like you spent that time not looking at what was happening outside of your own circle. Let me remind you who I am.
Yeah.
It's like, I am the rated R superstar. Yeah. I've been in, I was in the first ever, I was the first ever person to cash in a contract. I was without saying, money in without saying all that stuff. I was the first person to ever cash in a contract. I was a part of the first ever tables, ladders, and chairs match. I was
in the hit movie Money Plane, starring Kelsey Grammer.
But, oh Lord. Oh, man.
What movies have you done, Kenny Omega?
What movies have you done, Kenny Omega? My God. But yeah, it's just this, let me remind you who I really am. Because I've heard a lot of things about this cleaner. But, it's maybe that even can be a side of Kenny's argument, or Kenny's thing is like, everyone's heard of the rated R superstar. But only a select few have really seen the cleaner at my full potential or whatever.
Yeah, or something like, everybody's heard of the rated R superstar, but has the rated R superstar heard of the cleaner? And then it's just like, oh, whoa. And then so their match at All Out.
Well, I think you have these promos. You have to have one big blow up before All Out, or it needs to be made like official. Like, I think maybe the week after. Okay, so wait, so the week after Fight for the Fallen, that's the Scorpio Sky thing. The week after that is the promos, and I think during that it's made official. Edge will face Kenny Omega at All Out.
Yeah.
That's all that said. That's all that said. Should it be just a regular old wrestling match?
That's exactly what I was going to ask you. Is it just a traditional match, or is it hardcore? I mean, it should. Well, why not? Let's make it hardcore. What,
a lights out match?
Oh,
I wish they would bring that back. I loved the lights out match idea, where it was like, this is an unsanctioned match by All Elite Wrestling. I love the idea of the lights out match.
Oh, so it's an unsanctioned match?
Yeah, that was what they dubbed the Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley match.
Right.
Was that it was unsanctioned because, and a lot of people didn't really like how it got Tony Khan kind of involved, where they're like, we don't really want to be liable for what you guys do to each other, right?
Mm.
So then they named their own type of unsanctioned match, and it was the lights out match. And then there was an episode of either Dark or Dynamite where Kenny did a lights out match against Joey Janela, and that one was really cool.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Okay, sure, let's do that, because maybe it's maybe Tony Khan is since maybe Edge is not technically signed.
That could be a thing. Yeah, that could be a reason. Or it could also be, it's just dubbed as this is going to be a match, and then you have a brutal backstage brawl between the two of them.
Yeah.
Where it could be a thing of, I don't know if it'd be a contract signing or if it would be a interview, or if it would be Edge or Kenny, maybe Kenny coming out to the ring and cutting a promo, or maybe he has a match and he squashes someone, and then he cuts a promo about maybe he cuts a promo about how he's gonna, like, if this wasn't just a normal wrestling match, I would break every bone in your body. I would rip your flesh from your, like, he gets really graphic. He's like, I would rip your flesh from your skin. But lucky for you, we're bound to the rules of a regular wrestling match, and I'm still going to beat you like you've never lost before, but just know that you're lucky. And then that's where Edge just, blindsides him.
Yeah.
And they just brawl, and it's nuts, and everybody has to tear them apart from each other, and it just gets crazy, and maybe one of them puts the other one through a table. A ladder comes out, maybe. Like, no one can stop them from just really having this brawl. Everybody's like, no, stop it. And they're just
no, stop.
like, you can't. No, it's like, guys, you're gonna have your match. And then maybe that happens, like, not necessarily at the end of Dynamite, but like maybe top of like the final, like in the middle of Dynamite, and then it's announced later that evening that it's been made official by AEW, by Tony Khan, that Kenny Omega versus Edge at All Out is going to be an unsanctioned lights out match.
Yeah. Because they don't want the liability.
These two are going to rip each other apart, so let them just do it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. So it's a lights out match now at All Out. After that crazy, basically, Dynamite where they were scrapping and killing each other in the back.
Well, it's a good way to just be like, hey, like think about like the last man standing match between Edge and Orton. How it was like it went into the gym, and they were fighting with like gym equipment, and then they went into like the parking area, and like they were fighting on top of the truck, and like all this. Like, imagine just like a brawl that sprawls out like that, and it goes into the back, and the cameras follow them, and they're just bringing out like tables or chairs and ladders and kendo sticks, barbed wire bats, and like all this stuff. And then it's like you have the Cleaner versus the Rated R Superstar finally, and this is where, let's just have them do the stuff that the two of them are very good at.
Who goes over?
I think Kenny. I think Kenny, honestly, because if it's the birth of the rebirth of the Cleaner,
he has to win.
It's not. I would love Edge to win, but I think, like, I don't know. That's tough because you can't. That's real tough. Like, my judgment for why Kenny should win is because, like, if you want the Cleaner to come back and want him to come back as a badass, you got to have him win. Edge can take a loss, I think. Yes, it kind of sucks that you bring this legend in and then he loses, but I think then he can rise from it and then go into some other feud. But
even the way we have it set up right now, if Edge loses and Kenny goes over, Kenny becomes like this larger than life guy as the Cleaner, and he can go and challenge for the title pretty much right away. And we also have it built in that Cody can offer Edge a rematch for the TNT title. So like that already gives him something else to do, even if he loses.
Yeah, exactly. I think then you got to have, I mean, what would I want to see in an unsanctioned match between Edge and Kenny Omega? I want to see thumbtacks.
Yeah.
I want to see going through tables.
I'm definitely seeing the spot where the table is set up in the corners, like slanted, and Kenny Omega gets speared through it by Edge.
Oh yeah. I think then, I mean, you think back to Kenny versus Moxley, and they brought out that like trampoline of barbed wire.
Oh yeah.
like that kind of craziness. Like, I think then just to get a good pop, flaming table. I mean, it's a great callback to Edge and his past and like him facing Mick Foley. You can have, if Hangman, or no, why am I saying Hangman? If Kenny Omega gives a one-winged angel to Edge through a ladder, like he has the ladder like set up, and like gives it to him,
and he just like his back would just kind of like bounce off basically. Yikes! Or Kenny Omega can wrap barbed wire around his knee and then V-trigger Edge.
I think that's the exact same spot that we did for Daniel Bryan.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that was the same thing we did for Daniel Bryan in the Wyatt family versus the Brood match.
I just really want to see somebody wrap barbed wire around their knee
and then knee someone in the face.
And then knee somebody in the face.
I think you gotta have. I mean, what would be brutal? The thing is, like, you sit here and you're like, it feels weird to create like really brutal like moments and stuff, but you listen to interviews from like one of my favorite interviews is Edge talking about the match with Foley at WrestleMania and how they're just sitting there and they're like, a lot of that dumb stuff that we did, I came up with. I'm a sick guy.
Well, what about this? Like so Kenny pours thumbtacks in the middle of the ring and then hits Edge with all those like dragon suplexes, the snap suplexes, like boom, and then picks him up again, boom. And picks up one more time, boom, and then Edge gets up and he's just like, there's just tacks everywhere.
Oh, that's so brutal.
Yeah.
I just want to quickly look up one thing because I just can't remember what the name of it is.
Execution.
There's the Edge. Well, there's the Execution, which is the Impaler.
Yeah.
Which that into like steel chairs would be rough. That into a table would be rough. The other one was kneeling inverted sharps. Oh, that's a what the heck's it called? That's the Educator. That's his submission move.
Oh.
Edge-o-matic. Electric chair drop. Right, he also did that. Oh man. Yeah, he did. He has a lot of different moves because he adapted his style over the years.
Yeah.
But I think what would be I'm just trying to think of like a weird, crazy thing that makes this match signature. And to me, what would just kind of be like, what in the world? I mean, it'd be kind of funny if, like, you know, they're both Canadian. One of them brings out a hockey stick.
Oh yeah, that would be pretty funny. Or and like a Canadian destroyer through a table.
Oh yeah, that'd be a really good I always forget his name. He's one of the commentators. He's the one with the mask. Excalibur. That'd be a great Excalibur call. Where he's like, a Canadian destroyer through a table. A Canadian just gave another Canadian destroyer.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Both their Canadian bodies were just destroyed.
What's like the final spot though? Is that like the flaming table one wing? Like, is it like a avalanche one winged angel through a flaming table?
I can't think of anything better.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing that. I'm like, that is rough. That's crazy and awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
I imagine
yeah.
like it gets set up on the outside, or it gets set up in the ring, or like I don't know, it gets set up somewhere where if it was on the outside, oh, that'd be brutal. That'd be so brutal. On the outside, well, because it was set in the McFoley match. It was set up on the outside, and Edge speared him through the ropes onto the table.
Right.
But if it was set up there, and Edge is about to do something like a big drop, or like a superplex, and Kenny reverses it and then gives him a one-winged angel off the ropes. Oh, that'd be brutal.
Yeah, and that's it. That's like
there's no way you can say Edge didn't look powerful in that match. It's like, what? Make sure he's not burned. Both these guys are brutalized, and then it's the 1, 2, 3, and your winner for this match is Kenny Omega.
Yeah, that's it.
The cleaner.
He's cooked.
Oof. That'd be crazy. It'd be so good, though. My God.
Short feud, but very cool.
Very cool. Well, I mean, short in the sense that we're like, oh yeah, it was like a couple. That technically would be like 3 months.
Yeah, that's true.
Because remember that AEW pay-per-views are
Spread
far in
out.
between each other instead of every month. You know?
Except for like
this past summer has been wonky because they're like, oh, let's do the whole making a regular Dynamite. Fire Fest,
like the special Dynamites.
Yeah.
Because
them and NXT were doing the same thing, and they're like, oh, if they're gonna do it, we're gonna do it.
Yeah, Great American Bash.
Yeah, in your house. Although In Your House was really awesome.
It was.
But yeah, there you go. Kenny Omega, the cleaner, versus Radar Superstar Edge. Whew.
It's good.
Now I wish that Edge went to AEW.
Yeah.
Instead of feuding with Randy Orton for months.
I think they offered him a lot of money too, and he decided not to go. But I mean,
hey, do you, baby. You do you.
Yeah.
I can't blame Edge for ever making the choices that he wants to. All right. Well, tell us what you thought of our booking for Edge versus Kenny Omega. Let us know how you would have booked it. Let us know who should have won. If you think that maybe Edge should have won, or how he should have won. Let us know that in the comments or on social media. Next, to finish off the episode, we got our 2 segments, viewer questions, and our match recommendation of the week. I almost forgot what we do here on the show. But for our first question, I just got to go quickly to our Facebook page. Just search Unknown Era Films on Facebook. Because I posted a thing recently, and there was a question left by one of our very own friends of the channel, Jake Martin.
Jake.
Guest, appeared on 2 episodes of the show. And he asked a question, which is, who is the most physically strongest wrestler of all time? I think
Mark Henry, probably.
I think Mark Henry is a really good. I mean, it's like, you have to think of like all those moments of like when someone did something. See, you have to think of all those moments because they always push someone. It's the Hulk Hogan effect of like, how do you make someone look like they're a superstar? You make them lift someone incredibly heavy.
Yeah.
Because, he did it with Andre, Cena did it with Big Show, Brock did it with Big Show, I think also. I think Brock lifted someone else too, and everybody was like, what the hell? But I agree. Mark Henry is just one of the biggest, baddest men in all wrestling history. And yeah, he like, obviously he was world's strongest man at one point.
Yeah.
I still think that he could do it. And I wish he would have gotten, I'm happy with his run, but I wish he would have went a little bit longer than he did.
He had some good characters and stuff too. Sexual Chocolate, Mark Henry was pretty funny.
Sexual Chocolate. I always forget about that. And him with, was it Mae Young? Or was it Moolah, or was it Young that he had a baby with and it was just a hand? Remember that? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that craziness of him making a baby with Moolah? Or
I think it was Mae Young. I don't remember.
Mark Henry baby. Mae Young gives birth to a hand.
Mae Young.
Sexual Chocolate, Mark Henry gives baby, presents it to Mae Young. It's a hand. That was a storyline. That was a storyline in wrestling.
We like wrestling.
We like wrestling. And we didn't get any. Oh, I guess that answers your question, Jake. We say Mark Henry. Our second question, we don't have one. Because we're out of them right now. So if you want to ask us a question, please either leave them for us on social media. Well, we post about needing questions on Instagram or on Twitter or on our Facebook page. So leave them there. Or, of course, you can leave them by going to our website, where you can access all of the past episodes and where you can listen to them or watch them and all that, which is unknownerfilms.com/bookitvince. So instead, I'll ask Anthony a question.
Yeah, ask me.
Which, my question for you, Anthony, is, I had it at the tip. I had it before.
Now what?
Oh no. I remember. Who do you think should be a champion at this point in wrestling? I know that's pretty easy to be like, oh, this person, but who do you legitimately think right now in wrestling should be a champion?
Oh. Who do I think? Sasha, maybe.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah. The fact that she has never successfully retained one of her titles on a pay-per-view is so terrible. Or actually, I think it's just period. So yeah, that's pretty tough. I think she's so good, and they really don't give her a chance to retain and be strong and carry on. And that's really tough.
You gotta hope that they're building towards that. What they're building towards is her and Bayley and her getting her first SmackDown Women's Championship.
And they should give Cedric a title too, because now that he's with the Hurt Business, he's pretty he's the fact that he has some semblance of character is very exciting for me. And the lumbar check he did on Ricochet was so awesome. The lumbar check is one of my favorite finisher moves. So it's
great. It's fantastic.
I think he should be a champion.
I think someone that I think should have been a champion by this point, honestly, Rusev or Miro. Oh
yeah.
I think him. I mean, yeah, he was U.S. champion, and he was a good U.S. champion. But I think once Rusev Day really took off, I think them scrapping the whole him and Aiden English, I think they should have been tag champs.
Yeah.
And then honestly, I can see him being, I don't know where he's going to go in AEW, but I think that he would be an excellent TNT championship or champion.
Yeah.
But I think Rusev was just red hot and they didn't give him the chance, and him holding a title for a good lengthy run should have been where it's at. Another one really quickly is Sami Zayn.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like, that's the thing, is he was, and then it's this whole story that's going on right now of like, is he who is the rightful Intercontinental Champion? Fingers crossed, I could be jinxing it, that they give it to Sami Zayn, because I think that him as a heel is amazing, and him as the Intercontinental Champion being this chicken shit heel, who is still really tough and really good wrestler, is an excellent move.
He looks like Bomb Shelter Seth Rogen right now.
Oh, like, he does kind of, yeah.
He looks like he just came out of a bomb shelter and was like, oh.
The big curly beard and the mullet. Yeah. Those are great.
Yeah. He is so haggard right now. But yeah, I agree. And I think to come back to Miro, I think Miro and Kip Sabian should challenge for the tag titles. I think that'd be really funny.
Oh, that'd be really good too. Yeah, that would be really good. But yeah, cool. So if you want to give any of your questions to us here at Book It Vince, make sure to suggest them on social media or over on our website. Again, that's UnknownErrorFilms.com/BookItVince. And to finish off the episode, Anthony. Oh no, wait, you gave it last week. It's my week.
Yeah,
I forgot. Your match recommendation last week was All Out. My recommendation this week is I recently watched the Owen Hart episode of Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh yeah, it's a great episode.
It made me really want to watch the Owen Hart versus Bret Hart match from WrestleMania, and that is an amazing match. It's so emotional.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the fact that Owen Hart was never really utilized that well. Speaking of people who should have been champion, Owen Hart.
Yeah.
But that match is like beautiful old school wrestling. Just how intricate those two were in that match of like just transitioning from move to move to move, just technically is awesome. But then the story of, you know, two brothers, just one, you know, at the top of his game, and the other one thinking that trying to step out of his older brother's shadow is just wonderful.
It's a beautiful match.
Yeah. So go watch it, because it's honestly one of the greatest matches of all time, in my opinion. But I think that'll do it for this week's episode of Book It Vince. Again, please send us your questions, rate and review the podcast on whatever podcast app that you listen to it on, and make sure to check us out online and all the other stuff that we do here at Unknown Era Films. You can do that by searching UE_films, and check us out on Twitter and Instagram. And of course, go over subscribe on YouTube. You can follow myself, Martin Bennett, online at Barton_Bennett, and you can follow Mr. Anthony Hall
at Hall and Jokes on Instagram and Twitter.
There we go. Thank you very much, everybody. Please go watch some wrestling. Have a good one. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you next time. Too sweet.
Too sweet.